Hello viewers, you are welcome to Puff TV studio here in Ekiti State. Today we are going to be discussing the state of the nation and of course happiness in Ekiti State. And joining me live from USA via Zoom is the former Commissioner for Agriculture in Ekiti State, Dr. Gboyega Isijola.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Isijola, we want to find out from you, because we just discovered that after the 2022 governorship election in Ekiti State, and when Segun Oni, your candidate, lost to Biodun Oyebanji, we've not been seeing you around. Please, where have you been?
I'm in the US. I've been here since I was in Nigeria up till about early May 4 exactly. I came back to the US on May 4. I got here on May 5. I left Nigeria May 4.
Okay, if I may ask you, how is life treating you in US?
Well, I'm okay. I thank God. I went to school here. I did my master's and PhD in the US, and so I'm a little bit familiar with the terrain.
The 2022 governorship election in Ekiti State may have come and gone, but then some people are happy about it, some are not. As one of the gladiators, what would be your assessment of that particular election?
Well, the issue of the governorship election is a two-edged sword. In the first place, whether we like it or not, we had our own shortcomings. I mean, as the Oni group or the organization then. And secondly, the nature of the Nigerian politics is the second factor. I don't believe that the judiciary should be the last resort in an election. And it has introduced a lot of complexities in the electoral system. So what we call or defined as democracy is opposed to government of the people, by the people, or for the people. Within the context of that definition, there is no provision for judiciary. We had a situation whereby many people went to the polls. You and I know how many thousands that were recorded on that day. But at the end of the day, we went to a tribunal that had about 5 people. From there to Court of Appeal with 3 people. From there to the Supreme Court with 5 people. At the Supreme Court, I don't think that any of them is at the Ekiti. So the situation whereby a stranger will be dictating who will be governor or senator or rep in our political system, to me, is an aberration of democracy. A situation whereby the Supreme Court will just say your case has been dismissed without any explanation, to me, is very unfortunate. On the nature of how the election was conducted,
yes,
it is neither here nor there, because I have to be frank.
Okay.
In my village where I voted, where I operated that day, the people voted for to cook soup. And people don't say, we offer sebe. And when they knew where the highest was coming from, they went there. So whatever happens in Nigeria after election, you can't blame the politicians. We better blame the voters who know the truth, but decided not to act according to the truth on the election day. On the day of election, people are looking for what they will earn for some days. So the ruling class, they already know the dynamics of the average Nigerian voter. So they put their vote where the money came from.
The way forward?
The way forward to change the coloration of our politics anytime soon is going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. There is only one avenue by which it can come, which I'm not ready to discuss, because I don't want to be charged for incitement. So if that does not happen, let's wait and see if history will continue like this. A lot of people complain that there was rigging. Yes, there might have been rigging. And as Obasanjo said, that you can only rig where you are popular. It is neither here nor there. In Nigeria, most of the governors don't care to do anything. They continue to amass money because they know the psychology of our people. that on the eve of election, on the day of election, they will satisfy them with what they want. And after elections, maybe in the next 4 years before you see them again, it has played on for the past few years, and it will continue to be so. The way we recycle politicians, it does not augur well for democracy. Many politicians in Nigeria don't believe in democracy, however highly educated. Example in Ekiti State has shown that it does not mean that the higher, the more educated you are, the wiser you are politically. They use their so-called education to confuse the people.
Though you didn't mention names, some of them are part of the democracy struggle.
You see, when people say somebody struggle for democracy, I just laugh. You when they say they struggle for democracy, Obasanjo became the beneficiary of the 1999 elections. They did struggle for democracy. I don't know where Dr. Fayemi was during the struggle for Ekiti State, but definitely it was not in the state. Frankly speaking, if I have my way, we have to rewrite our constitution to exclude the judiciary from meddling in democracy. How can 5 people now decide on what? But I don't know how many people voted. Maybe 800,000 or something. But we say democracy is government of the people. Yes, democracy is government of the people, by the people, and for the people. The government that emanates or emerges from the judiciary, from the Supreme Court, to me, is not by the people. It is for the rich, not for the people.
By October 16, 2023, Governor Biodun Oyebanji will be 1 year in office. And of course, he has been embarking on some projects, which of course the people are happy about. But in your own assessment as an indigent of this state, how will you rate his performance?
It deserves to be commended. There is nothing political about this. But what bothers me is that where this money has come from, because the former governor left barely a month or two when the present governor started performing what he's doing. Where did the money come from? Where has the money been? But these are questions that you ask and nobody can answer. Because I know that this money has been somewhere where I cannot tell, but the people in government should be able to tell. So the fact that Oyebanji is using people, the taxpayers' money to do things for the people, it should be commended as an individual. And I also have one philosophy that personalities dictate performance. Oyebanji is a product of Adebayo governance. And I believe he should be able to know where the shoe pinches in Ekiti. He went to school in Ekiti. He worked in Ekiti. He worked with me at the university, Ekiti State University. And incidentally, was also my student for 4 years. So I know him, and we were very close during the Adebayo years. The fact is that what he's doing is reflected of what the people want. And knowing Biodun for what he was when we were together in AFG is a product of that group. So he has cut his political teeth from some people, including Adebayo. So I am saying in essence that the governor should be commended, and one would be a fool if you don't say what is good when you say what. For what he's doing presently, I give him kudos.
I'm sure you are aware that the national leaders of PDP and in Ekiti State here are trying to woo former governor of the state, Asiwaju Segun Oni, back to PDP. And of course, APC are also making efforts to bring him to their party. What would be your advice?
I cannot predict what will happen. One cannot say it's going to mortgage its own principle because of a pot of porridge. So some people can go, but I don't know what Segun will decide at last. But all I'm saying, and what I suspect will happen is that some people will go with him. It's not likely that all the people will go with him. If he goes to APC, not everybody will go. If he goes to PDP, not everybody will go. And by the way, I have to commend Biodun for visiting him at home. This is the nature of politics. You see, when elections are held in this climate, I mean the American climate, you will see that by 9 o'clock in the evening that day, you already know the result. By 6 a.m., whoever wins or loses, the loser will call the winner to congratulate him. We're expecting Nigerians with the level of education that we have to have reached that stage. But because many of us depend on government to eat and to survive, even people that have a means of survival, they still believe that they have to be a government.
I'm sure you are aware of what is happening here in Nigeria following the removal of fuel subsidy by President Bola Tinubu. Of course, you know that Nigerians are going through untold hardship. What would be your comment?
On the issue of this so-called oil subsidy, I have a very strong belief. And I know when we were in ASUU, when I was chairman of ASUU in Ekiti, the university, Gboyega was our national president. The NEC they sent up a very high power group to find out what the whole concept of subsidy is. And they came up with a report that there's nothing called subsidy, that it was individual subsidy. If they say they are removing subsidy, which I believe, because subsidy, that is, I still believe in that report that we received there. It's just a means of sharing money among our elites, a few of our elites. People award contracts on behalf of the state or federal government or even local governments. And they know right from day one that they are not going to execute anything. They will share the money. Nigeria can never develop. So that people are now suffering. I don't know. The politicians, including Tinubu, they have spent a lot of money. And you and me know how this money, they have to recoup it. Whether that's the way they want to recoup it, I don't know. But there is something that Tinubu can do that I believe will be able to assuage many right-thinking Nigerians. Let us publish the names, addresses of people who have oil block in Nigeria and those who are involved in this subsidy that they are talking about. Because subsidy, as they said, they are giving some people money to bring oil.
Who are those people?
And some of the people who are involved also have oil block. The oil supply in the US is over 50 times what we have in Nigeria. And they have not subjected it to governmental control the way we do in Nigeria. The people doing it, they know how to do it. But I can assure you today, Nigeria does not know how many barrels of oil go out of that country in a day. Because 80% of what goes out go out through the back door. I think President Tinubu is smart enough to know that public policy should not be imposed as a military fashion. I would have expected him to do some public relations for at least 2-3 months, even 6 months, to start laying the foundation for the so-called removal, which I say I don't believe in, that they're setting take on subsidy. So he could have gone through that route rather than tell us that Otilo. To me, that is rude politically. These people just voted for you, and you are telling us people that you have to take a decision. Yes, you have to take a decision. But the decision is not supposed to kill the people who voted you in. So my own take is that he should have waited for about 3 to 6 months to really understand what they are saying, if he's not part of it before. But if he was part of it, it means that he knows the in and out of the so-called subsidy. But now it's in a different role. Tinubu as APC national leader is different from Tinubu as the Nigerian president. They made a mistake to have introduced it so suddenly at a time that people are just trying to wake up to a new party, to a new government and see what they will do. This is not a good Christmas present. In my village, I understand they are now selling fuel for up to 700 naira 1 liter. A lot of people have abandoned their motorcycle. Talk more of cars. It is not fair to us because the oil comes from us. We should not be made to suffer for the incompetence of the managers of our oil industry. But the truth is that the thing was untimely. They have to do a lot of public relations. And it's good at media manipulation. You can also manipulate the media to campaign for this thing for 3 to 6 months before you post, but it is too late now. To me, salary increase is not the answer. And unfortunately, by the way we are made up in Nigeria, our governments don't think. Because the individuals who should talk, who should advise their ogas, they only listen to what oga wants to hear, and they will dance around that. I have said that in life, in action, already at the administration. And we thank God. And I believe that posterity will judge everybody accordingly.
President Bola Tinubu, our president, made some appointments. What's your reaction to this?
We should commend Tinubu for the appointment he has made so far, especially in the area of security infrastructure. Gone was Buhari. Well, let's look at the Buhari administration. Everybody that he appointed as the head of any of our security outfit, you must either be a northerner, or you must be a northerner, a Muslim, and in most cases, a Fulani man. In this case, Tinubu has demonstrated that things can be shared accordingly into the 6 geopolitical zones that we have in Nigeria. So what he has done, they are all genuine appointments made in accord with a federal character principle. And in terms of save yourself before you say for that, I will advise that he should continue with this federal character principle in making other appointments. Then, in terms of the Southwest, it should also go beyond Lagos. To the Moripe, you either a Lagosian or a Lagos linked. Those are the things that concern him. And that is why some of us were not even excited about his candidacy. Because in the Southwest, Imagine which is Ekiti. Although Dele Alake, that was a good appointment. Dele Alake is a very solid human being. And some others. But it needs to also go beyond Lagos to help other states of Yoruba land.
People of the fountain.